This is Mary Byers and Associations Today. My guest is Tracy Tompkins, Director of Business Development at Naylor Association Solutions. I wanted to talk to Tracy because I had an opportunity to see a video that they produced and are now syndicating with a dozen societies for association executives. The videos are extremely well done, and I wanted to find out how our viewers could adapt this idea for their own membership. Welcome, Tracy. Tell me a little bit about how the videos came about, if you would.
Sure. So, we recognize that there was a need for video in this market, and that was going to be in a high quality, but at a relatively low maintenance for these associations. And so we heard from some of the local regional chapters, the Society of Association Executives that we work with, and they wanted to do more in video, but they didn't necessarily have the time or the resources or the staff or the training to be able to do a program like this. So we worked with them and collaborated with them on the development of an editorial plan and also putting some branding around it that was uniquely designed for each individual organization. And then we listened to them and asked them what their expectations would be then around the frequency, revenue share, costs, and then so far, we've rolled out the program with 11 different groups and expect more to come on by the end of the year.
Are the videos being produced in-house with an outside partner? How are you accomplishing the production piece of it?
Sure. So Naylor is involved in the development and the production from start to finish. And we do rely on staff that we have and valued partners that we have as well to bring in the content and to help with the video production and the channel distribution for the channels and the episodes that we're creating.
One of the things I was impressed with was the quality of the graphics and the animation. Tell me a little bit about how that all comes into play and where the material comes from.
So, in the case of the local and the regional Society of Association Executives, and really for all of the association executives that are the association clients that we work with, we custom design the graphics and the animation specifically for the needs and the content of that story. So there's a lot of unique development that is in place for these channels.
And if there are other association executives that are interested in getting deeper into the video market, as I think they should be, because we're really moving towards a video environment, what advice would you give to somebody who's responsible for this, but maybe doesn't know where to start, or they have video now, but they want to take it to the next level in terms of quality?
So I would start by suggesting that they do a lot of good planning on the front end. Video can be really impactful and it can be inexpensive if you're doing that planning on the front end. And so, an association can sink a lot of time and money and resources into an ineffective video program if they're not putting the proper strategies in place. So that's where I think a lot of the groups should start. And when we start with video, we usually start by asking three main questions. And that's going to be, what is your audience? What is your message? And then what do you want to accomplish? And so if you start with those, I think it'll help put some of the planning on the front end and save you some time and some money. Some of the other things that associations should think of who are working on a budget is to consider partnering with some of the other associations that are out there who may have similar interests or share a similar, topic together. And so if they put a video together, then they can save some money on those. That's another avenue to look at. Another one would be to look to your members and your suppliers. Those are great groups to look at for content. They work in your industry on a day-to-day basis, and they're both going to bring good value to the conversation, and then they probably also would be really grateful for the added exposure that they're going to get with that. And then the last thing to think about is going to be your live events. Live events are great places to capture content, to shoot B-roll for future use. And then also, so many of your members and your influential leaders are all going to be there at the same time. Another great avenue to be able to capture a lot of really good content to use in the future, and having everybody there at one place, and you can take advantage of that.
The suggestion of collaboration, I think, is an excellent one. It's a way that organizations, especially those with limited staffing or limited budgets, can actually produce high quality and make the video valuable to members. And live events, as you mentioned, are a great way to capture material, so it doesn't have to necessarily be graphics and animation like you've used in your program, but it can actually be a brief segment of a speaker talking, or excerpt from a panel discussion that was especially helpful, something like that. So all great ideas there. Naylor started really as a print solution for associations, but you yourself now are multi-channel, which is a strategy that associations really need to be embracing. Why don't you talk a little bit about that, and how that's evolved at your shop?
Sure, sure. So we believe here at Naylor that a lot of the value in communicating with your members is going to come from asking them what they want and why they want that, and then communicating in ways that are meaningful to them. And the reality is what is good for me and how I like to be communicated with isn't necessarily what might be right for you. And so we understand the importance of the different messages on different channels, and that is what we counsel our associations to do, and then we try to also live by that practice through our association advisor as well.
I appreciate that so much. Thanks for your time today. And if you're watching this video, I would encourage you to click on the link that will allow you to see a sample of the work that Naylor is currently doing. This is Mary Byers with Associations Today, and I'd like to thank my producer, ComPartners. If you're looking for an online learning provider, I suggest you contact them at compartners.com.